Charles,
No.
that item?
you're pulling that up?
Yes, the waiver of Wall Street parking.
Go ahead.
Pulling that?
Yes.
Just
Which
don't
one you
leave
waive? Which one?
Which
Number
one?
3.
Number 3? Okay.
Yes.
Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Council of the City of Long Beach held Tuesday, September 20th, 2011 at 7 p.m. We'll have a roll call. Councilmember Fagan.
Present.
Councilmember Goodman.
Present.
Councilmember McLaughlin.
Here.
Councilmember Torres.
Present.
President Sophie.
Here.
Let the record indicate the presence of City Manager Charles Theophan and Corporation Counsel Corey Klein. We will now have a salute to the flag.
Ms. Goodman?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, President Sophie.
You're welcome, Vice President Goodman.
Do you have anything to say?
What's that?
Do you have anything to say tonight?
Yeah. The city manager has removed item 3 from the agenda.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. The first item this evening is a public hearing for the purpose of giving residents an adequate opportunity to publicly present their views on the proposed mass transportation projects for the city's public transportation system.
I declare the hearing open. Mr. Theophan?
Yes, this is a application for a $2 million grant specifically for the following items. It's to purchase 2 35-foot hybrid electric buses, which will be much like the new ones that we have in service, except that they'll be 5 foot longer and be able to hold more passengers. The federal requirements are that we have to replace buses when they reach 10 years of age. We have 2 buses that are coming up to that anniversary, and these are the 2 that we are going to replace. Now, from the day we submit this application, we think it'll probably take approximately 2 years before we get delivery. So it's important that we get the process moving right now. Now, those buses will cost, they're $600,000 each. So for these 2 buses, we're looking at $1.2 million. We're also going to be looking to purchase 4 paratransit vehicles. With those 4 will cost us a total of $240,000. We currently have 3, so we'll be able to provide a better and more extensive service when we have 4 in operation rather than the 3. We're looking to buy camera systems for all of the paratransit vehicles. We're also looking to purchase a system, an auto vehicle location system for the fixed-rate bus routes, which will, believe it or not, with a little application on one cell phone, will be able to tell you in real time where the bus is and how long before it gets to your stop. So that's something that would be very handy for our residents. We're also looking for a software system to utilize for booking the ADA pickups that we need to make. We're doing it very primitively, almost by hand, in a paper type of calendar, and we're looking to get a computer system that will do that. Then some of the funds will be used for project administration, which means the seminars that our Director of Transportation has to go to. And I will tell you that in our meetings with the Federal Transportation Administration, our Director of Transportation's attendance at these seminars that are sponsored by the Federal Transportation Administration is absolutely essential if we're to continue winning these grants and getting the level of funding that we're getting. Finally, approximately $216,000 will be going towards preventive maintenance, which are repairs and tires and parts for the new buses. So that is what we'll be spending the grant money for. In addition to that $2 million, in that we will also 10% will be paid by the city, 10% will be paid by the state.
What do we do with the 2 buses we're replacing?
We're going to sell them.
Okay. Now, do I understand that we have 3 paratransit buses now,
That's correct.
and we're going to be replacing those 3 with 4 new ones?
That's correct.
And we can do the same thing with the 3 paratransit buses that we're replacing? We're going to sell those?
That's correct.
Okay. Anyone else on the council? Mr. Fagan?
Is there actually a proposal that's crafted internally that we present when we go after these funds?
It's the Federal Transportation Administration's forms that we fill out as part of that grant application.
Right, and as part of that grant application, we outline and we detail exactly what we're looking for within the $2 million that we're going for.
Yes, obviously.
Right. Are you going to provide those applications or copies of those to council to review before it comes to vote?
They have.
What?
I have.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen those yet.
To the council meeting.
City council
Attorney
members?
council or
Yes.
city council?
City council, not corporate council. Okay. Sorry. Will those be made available to us so that we can review it?
This is not my matter that's voted on. The
I understand that,
requirement
but-
is merely to have a public hearing. If you wish to see them, you can make that arrangement with Mr. Klein, and he'll be happy to show them to you before we submit them.
Okay. Consider that a request made.
Could you get Mr. Fagan?
Thanks.
Get the whole council copies, Mr. Klein.
Sure.
Anyone else? Mr. McLaughlin?
Hey, Charles, is this a $2 million cap? That it can't be more than $2 million, or could it be $4 million, or could it be $4 million?
No, that is a cap.
Okay, and is the paratransit buses, is that under that federal requirement for 10 years, they have to be replaced also?
I don't, Mr. Costello's here, I'd have to ask him that question. Brendan, are they included in that 10-year?
Repeat the question, sir?
The paratransit buses, the minibuses, do those also have a 10-year requirement that they be replaced?
They're light duty buses, so they usually like this 4 years.
4 years.
Okay.
Mr. Torres?
My question is more technical in terms of the equipment, Charles. How are we actually, more efficient with this kind of equipment? Is it partly electric? Is it partly natural gas? I've never got a clear picture on exactly what this efficient system really is.
Well, obviously, it's much what we would call greener technology.
Right.
It emits far less in the way of fumes because much of the time it's operating as an electric vehicle.
Okay.
So there are no combustible fumes whatsoever. And it switches back and forth as required by its engine. So, I'm sure that Brendan probably has, our Director of Transportation probably has the specs, but if you'd like to go down to the city garage
Yeah, I'd like
someday,
to do that, yeah.
we could take a look at them. They're beautiful vehicles.
Yeah,
And they
And
replace the diesel. The
Yeah.
ones that we have currently are diesel. These are the California emission hybrid buses that we have, the blue ones we have, and the ones they're replacing are the old-fashioned diesel engines.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious, when you're charging this system, is it self-charging, or is it a system where you have to plug it into the wall? Is that, I know that a lot of systems work with a generation. As the bus is moving, it generates current and actually stores the current and then uses that. How are these buses using that new technology?
It generates off the engine, off the
Okay.
transmission.
Oh, it's
So you
transmission.
don't have to plug anything in. It
You
recharges.
can go up to the mic, Brendan.
He's good. Sorry, that's all right, man.
It generates off the engine system and the transmission. So once it goes in the third gear, it kicks into diesel fuel,
I
but
see.
the first 2 or 3 years, it runs on electric power.
So
only.
it's constantly charging
Yeah.
while the engine is on?
Charges it off at the transmission system itself.
I see.
So you don't have to plug anything in, it charges it as soon as you use it.
I see. So then it holds the power in this battery, and then
Right.
when it kicks into the electric, it uses, then it refurbishes the power.
Right.
As I see how it works.
And-
So we don't have to plug it in anywhere.
No, you don't have to plug it in anyway.
Okay.
And
very
if
good.
I did a year comparison with the fuel savings, last year with the fuel savings with the 4 new buses, we saved approximately 3,800 gallons or so in fuel compared to the year before.
Great. And the last question, Charles, you mentioned that it was a 10% city contribution.
That's correct.
And so 80% is really coming from the federal.
That's correct.
I'd like to look at that. I mean, as a grant writer, I'd like to see
certainly.
that. So I'll come in to see you.
Terrific.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. Anyone in the public? Mr. Benowitz?
Larry Benowitz, 513 East Hudson. We have 6 vehicles now that we're going to replace with new equipment.
5.
Right?
5.
5. We'll have 6 to replace the 5.
Right.
Of those 5 vehicles, does anyone have any idea how many miles that each one of them have, and whether or not any of them would have any resale value?
There's a whole schematic with the resale value as well as refunding money to the federal. It's not that we get the money back, as you have to recall, because it was federally funded. There's a whole protocol, a whole federal funding, whole federal protocol we have to follow. It's not that we just put it on, and sell it. There's a whole detailed administrative proceeding that we have to go through in order to get the money back. Certain money gets recaptured by the federal government. So the money that the federal
They get
give
these
to us,
vehicles
they
for
get
them?
money back as well, yes.
The federal government takes these 5
Remember, they
vehicles?
paid for 80% of it. They paid 10 years ago for 80% of it. So when we sell it, to get back, we have to give money back to the federal government. So it's the same, it's not like we're getting, we don't get it on both ends.
From the sale in order to...
Right, we don't get more money, we don't get money and then take money from the sale as well, correct.
On a different trend of thought, do we have staff in our garage that are capable of servicing hybrid vehicles?
Yes.
Yeah, they've been doing it the other 3 buses. They've been doing the other 3.
Okay, I didn't know whether we, send them out to an outside source or not.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Benowitz. Ma'am?
Ruth Banchik, 319 West Pine. Mr. Klein, when the money is recaptured by the federal government, is it also on that 80% scheme?
They have a breakdown, I don't recall off the top of my head, but they have a breakdown that's required by the operation, by law, and how it gets broken down, because a certain amount gets back, there's caps, there's dollar amounts. I'm not sure the exact, breakdown of how it's done.
Now, I think, Mr. Theophan, you said that 10% comes from the city?
That's correct.
And 80% from the federal government?
Right.
So I'm not sure I heard, where does the extra 10%?
The state.
Oh, from the
80,
state,
10
okay. Does the state recapture any of the sale of
Usually the
monies?
values are so, from what I recall the last time we did, the values are so off, there's not that much of a resale value for a 10-year diesel bus, so you usually, no. I mean, I believe there is a breakdown if we exceed a certain dollar amount that it trickles down, but I don't recall exactly what the dollar amounts are.
And does the federal government or the state handle the actual sale? I mean, do they have a market for, or are they sold for parts?
No,
or
I mean,
how does
however the dollar value is, they're entitled to, however it gets the best dollar value it gets back, they're entitled to. If they gave us 80%, they're entitled to a breakdown back.
And our 10% that we're putting into this, is that comes out of the general operating fund?
Transportation fund, right?
Yes.
And any monies that we get back go back into the general operating fund?
No, they go back into the general fund.
The general fund?
Yes.
That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? See no hands, I close the hearing.
There's one
Oh,
more.
I'm sorry. Where? Did I miss? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, Allison Blanchett, 14 Arizona.
I apologize, I didn't see you, Miss Blanchett.
No, that's okay. Because I'm so thin. Anyways, I had a few questions. Is this necessary? Do we need these buses?
Yeah, after 10 years, we're required to replace the buses.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to, I just got thrown off by the numbers here. So we have 5 buses.
No, we have,
We're-
no, we have, the big buses,
Yes, the big ones.
those have to be replaced every 10 years. We have 2 buses that are reaching that age.
Yep.
So we're required to replace them. So we're doing that. With the paratransit buses...
I'm sorry, go back to that?
Yes.
You're looking to purchase 4?
No, 2.
2.
2.
And didn't we just get 4 last year? My numbers may be
I'm not
completely
sure how many we got last year. We got 2, I think.
we have
3.
3.
3.
You got 3 last year?
Right.
Okay,
And hopefully we'll replace them as time goes on. We'll replace all the diesel ones with the hybrid electric.
awesome.
And then with the paratransit buses, those, if I understood the Director of Transportation properly, have to be replaced every 4 years. So we have 3 of those that are coming up on that, so we're replacing those with 4 new ones.
4 new ones. Okay. I have a question about, I also want you to know, I think public transportation is absolutely wonderful. I'm really excited that you guys are keeping up to date, particularly with the environmentally friendly ones. The surveillance systems, are they going to be similar to what we have now?
On the current buses, yes. On the new
Are
buses.
they going to continue recording conversations?
They don't record the conversations.
They don't. I actually have sources otherwise.
Okay.
That they
They're
are...
video.
Excuse me?
They're video.
Video and
They
sound.
can be used for sound, but they're not used for the sound.
The current surveillance on the buses are not being used for
We
sound?
have it for the video.
Okay, and you're not using them for sound?
No.
Okay. I think that might have been, that GPS system. The GPS system, the whole app thing, about how much
is that?
did you say that would run for?
145,000.
145,000. And the GPS type thing, is that kind of like when you take a city subway and it says, the ETA of your bus?
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
And that will be put in at the bus stops or just at the main?
The main,
Just at the main one, so
Yes.
people can know
yes.
when their bus is coming?
Right.
And does that just seems weird because it's...
This is not going to all be, just mind you, I don't want anybody to think, this is a proposal for 2013. So I don't want
Yes.
anybody to think that they're going to start seeing something next week. And, we hope
Right.
that this is part of the process. You have to go 2 years at least
Right.
in advance. So hopefully sometime in 2013, we'll see some of this.
Right, okay. Well, perhaps by then we have a whole different technology. Any of this, the current state of the bus stops here, we don't have a lot of shelter. They're not marked very well. Is any of that going to be covered here?
not part of this.
No, it's not part of this grant.
That's not going to be part of it, okay. So increasing ridership, any of that is not going to even be considered?
Why is that not? If you have new buses, hopefully there'd be increased ridership. Right, the grant, the Federal Transportation says we have to do a public hearing in order how to spend $2 million of theirs, so we're having a public
Right.
hearing, and this is how they've told us the money is to be spent.
Oh,
So
I'm
it's
actually
It's somewhat
really...
limited in that you're having a public hearing to discuss how they've already told us they want us to spend the money.
I'm familiar with the TEA 21, and I also know that it can be used in many ways. In addition to just buying new buses, you could actually use this money to do other things.
Not this grant.
I'm sorry?
Not this grant.
Actually, I'm familiar with this
Okay,
grant.
well, that's not this grant.
I'm familiar with this grant, and I know the things that you can do with this.
Okay.
And I know that things like, we're talking about the TEA 21, the revised.
I don't know what you're referring to, but the grant that we have here is to apply for these items as detailed, okay? That's just the terminology. For the Transportation Equity Act for the 21st century.
That's
called
TEA 21, yes.
That covers billions of dollars involved for federal transportation. This is a
Right.
specific grant under that.
Under that
So
act.
under this specific grant, this is what we have to apply for. So while under
Okay.
this Transportation Equity Act for the
Act 21,
21st century, there might be, which is amended by the TEA 21 Restoration Act, Title 49 U.S.C. Section 5307 for capital assistance. This specific grant that we've applied for under the guise of the FDA are for the items as listed.
Okay. Is there any way that I could get a copy of the whole, I'm just curious about the proposed program?
Yes.
Is that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
Just curious about seeing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask a question, please?
Please do.
Did I recall, or I thought I recalled the city manager saying that these buses were 5 feet longer?
That's correct.
So there would be increased ridership?
That's correct.
That way as well. Okay, thank you.
More people got on it. Anyone else? See no hands, I close the hearing.
Okay, on to the regular calendar. The first item is resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase bunker gear for the Long Beach Fire Department under New York State contract.
Mr. Theophane?
Yes, from time to time, we have a resolution like this because bunker gear wears out, and sometimes we have new personnel that require us to buy more bunker gear. Bunker gear are the turnout coats that our firemen wear and the pants that go with them. Because of the fact that they're engineered to withstand high temperatures and water that's present during a fire event, they are not inexpensive. A coat currently costs $1,237, and the pants cost $893. We're looking to buy 10 sets of coat and pants. 8 of these will be designated to be going to the volunteer fire department, and 2 sets to go to the new members of our paid force. With the paid men, the city provides a first set, then the upkeep of that is the individual's responsibility from the uniform allowance in their contract. We bought 6 sets in 2009. We bought 5 sets in 2010, all for the same prices as are indicated here. I must, though, just say that the state contract expires at the end of September, and the prices are going to go up, so we're very anxious to get this order in.
Anyone on the council?
Yeah, the total's off, like 33 cents.
Oh, Mr. McLaughlin just pointed out that the total is off by 33 cents, so we'll have to correct that.
Anyone else? Mr. Fagan?
This is an annual expense? I'm assuming we need to upgrade a certain amount of equipment every year?
Not necessarily, but pretty much for the last 3 years, the need has arisen in each year. So I guess you could say, sort of.
And where will we draw down these funds from?
From the lines indicated in the resolution.
Okay. If I can just might add, Chief Corbett?
Yes.
This is a normal expense, in your opinion?
Yeah, the lifespan for a set of bunker gear is typically, it's recommended every 10 years to be replaced. We've also been having a lot more volunteers that have been coming up. A lot of members of the community joining the volunteers also. We also have been recycling gear that have been 3 or 4 different firefighters, which is, it's unsafe to use at this time.
Okay, thanks, I appreciate it.
Anyone in the public? Next item, please.
Item 2, resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase various groceries for the city's daycare programs from the lowest responsible bidders.
Mr. Theophane?
Yes, we are required to provide 3 meals a day in the daycare program that takes place at Magnolia and at the MLK Center. What we have previously been doing through the past several years, we've been buying all of these food items from the state bid. This year, our purchasing department, showing some ingenuity and looking to save money, what they did was they went out to bid for all of the items that we routinely buy to see if there was one company or perhaps two companies that might be able to supply some of the items for less cost than what the state bid was. And we did find two companies that, again, we're talking about numerous different items, but we found two companies that one of those companies is able to provide some of the items for less cost. The other company is able to provide other items for less cost. So what we're looking to do here is simply to purchase in the most efficient, cheapest way, but still get the same level of quality that we need to serve the children that are in these programs.
Now, this is on an as-needed basis, correct?
That's absolutely correct. We spent, in the fiscal year 2009-2010, we spent $37,000. In the fiscal year 10-11, we spent $41,000.
Anyone on the council?
Yeah, I got a question.
Mr. McLaughlin.
So Charles, with this, with the option of the 1 year to renew, if it doesn't work out for us, we can just jump back into the state contract?
Absolutely.
Mr. Torres.
Yeah, just a comment, Charles. The food that's actually purchased, we are really being mindful of the nutritional value for children, are we?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I made a suggestion, I think, a few months ago that we bring in the advice of the district nutritionist to help us with the selection of this, and I think it's a good idea to do that. So,
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
thank you.
Thank you. Anyone in the public? To the voting.
Voting.
Do I have any motions?
Motion to block vote on these one.
I'll second.
You'll second it? Okay. So we go right to the voting?
No, now we're voting to block vote.
You're voting to block vote, okay. Who will introduce and move the adoption?
Mona did, I
You
seconded.
seconded it.
Now we're voting on block voting.
Okay. Councilmember Fagan.
No.
Councilmember Goodman. Councilmember McLaughlin.
Yes.
Councilmember Torres.
No.
President Sofa.
Yes. Now we move to block.
Now we move to block. Okay. So we just...
Now we're voting on the block.
Okay. Councilmember Fagan.
No, we have to move, we have to move it
Who will introduce and move the adoption
of the block.
of the block?
I will.
Okay, who will second it? Okay. Voting, Councilmember Fagan?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodman? Councilmember McLaughlin?
Yes.
Councilmember Torres?
Yes.
President Sofa?
Yes.
Okay. Is that it?
I will make a motion to close the meeting.
Okay, who will second it?
I will.
I will.
Councilmember Fagan?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodman?
Yes.
Councilmember McLaughlin?
Yes.
Councilmember Torres?
Yes.
President Sofa?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you stop by my office with the architectural?
Sure.